Now, Italy's Navy and Coast Guard have rescued another 300 migrants in the waters between Sicily and Libya. The Italian government has begun to ramp up its military presence to stop further tragedies that have already led to the demise of hundreds this month. Noel Makugu has that story, but let's first go over to South Africa, Johannesburg, where we're joined live by Aline Mugisho, the Public Relations Officer for Africa Diaspora Forum. Aline, thank you very much for joining us there from Johannesburg. Now, what's the main reason, though, that Africans and migrants are now being forced to flee their countries in search of better lives somewhere else?
The main reason, good evening to you and good evening to your guests. The very big problem that is currently affecting the continent, as you know, is political instability, meaning there's war and conflicts in various African countries. We also find a high level of poverty and bad governance. So besides the fact that people are living for all these issues, such as conflict and poverty, people are also victims of different discrimination, and this often applies to people who are transgenders and gay and lesbians who have to flee for their lives with regard to human rights violations. So these are the key challenges that we're finding across the continent. Also, you will also recall that there's a high level of unemployment across the continent. So people usually have to seek for better opportunities, better options, and which is the reason why many African migrants leave their countries of origin to flee outside of the continent, which they perceive as a better place, as a much better alternative than one that they find in their various countries of origin.
Well, many of these migrants, though, are coming, as you talk about, as you mentioned there, they're coming from conflict areas there. What is it that African governments are doing in order to curb the migration of their populations to other lands?
On my opinion, there is not a lot that has been done so far from our African government. Instead, you're finding things deteriorating, moving from bad to worse. You will find that there are a lot of rebellion movements that are coming up. There's a lot of terrorism movements that are coming up. You'll find that there is a lot of corruption, and more we find unstable government. And within this issue, so people will keep on moving as they seek to save their lives, or they seek to to stay away from violations of human rights in their respective countries of origin. This is the reason why you will find even very professional Africans have to leave their countries of origin to go to Italy or to France or to other developed countries to do even peace jobs, or they involve in very low paid jobs as long as they not find themselves in such a situation that they live in their countries of origin. So our president and African governments still have a lot of work to do to make sure that the lives of Africans are being secured, and also to make sure that the continent changes within the position in which it is right now, because many African countries are in very unstable conditions, and the problems keeps on changing from one country to another. So as long as these issues such as corruption, bad governance, political instability, poverty are dealt with, then we're more likely to find, unfortunately, migrants living from Africa and dying in circumstances such as those died in Italy.
All right. Well, European Union states, though, are putting in place stricter measures to curb migration there. How does the future, though, look on migration matters across the continent?
Pardon?
European Union states are putting in place stricter measures to curb migration. In terms of the African continent and migrants, what does the future hold, though, for migration from the continent?
In terms of the European Union and the fact that they are putting in stricter policies to restrict migration from Africa and other countries, I think that is a wake-up call for our own leaders to make sure that migration is regulated on the one hand, but also on the other hand, to make sure that solutions are found within the continent, especially on an economic and security level, so that the future the continent in the future will not have to face these problems. And as the more stricter the policies that are being developed within European Union countries, the more dangerous it becomes for African migrants moving within towards those areas or those countries. So it is a wake-up call for our African leaders to see how what they can do to protect the African population on the one hand, and two, to make sure that Africa stays in a stable condition. But this is also a responsibility of everybody involved in terms of the European Union, in terms of the World Bank, in terms of the UN and other institutions that can facilitate such peacekeeping missions or economic free movement of people within the continent.
All right, Aline Mugisho, the Public Relations Officer for the Africa Diaspora Forum, joining us there from Johannesburg. Thank you.